I'm not just someone's girlfriend moment. I was 24 and dating this guy Marcus for about 2 years. He was a software engineer, made good money, and everyone thought we were the perfect couple. But Marcus had this annoying habit of introducing me as my girlfriend Emma instead of just Emma, like my name didn't matter. At parties, work events, even casual hangouts with friends, it was always, this is my girlfriend first, then maybe my name as an afterthought. I started feeling like I was just an accessory to his life instead of my own person. The breaking point happened at his company's annual barbecue. Marcus worked at this big tech firm downtown, and I'd been to a few of their events before. Everyone knew me as Marcus's girlfriend who works at that marketing place. I'd been promoted to creative director at my agency just 2 weeks earlier. It was a huge deal, youngest person ever to get that position, and I'd been working my ass off for 3 years to earn it. I was finally starting to make a name for myself in the industry. So when Marcus introduced me to his new boss as my girlfriend Emma, I decided I was done with that nonsense. I stuck out my hand and said, actually, I'm Emma Mitchell, creative director at Hartwell Marketing. You might have seen our campaign for the downtown revitalization project that won 3 national awards last month. His boss's eyes lit up. Wait, you're the one behind that brilliant Subway ad series? We've been trying to figure out who created those. They're genius. Marcus looked confused, like he had no idea I'd been working on anything important, which honestly he probably didn't because he never really asked about my job beyond how was work today. The boss and I ended up talking for 20 minutes about advertising strategy and brand development. Turns out his company was looking for a new marketing firm because their current one was getting stale results. By the end of our conversation, he handed me his card and said, we should set up a meeting next week. I think your agency might be exactly what we need. Marcus tried to jump back into the conversation saying something like, yeah, Emma's really creative, but his boss was already focused on me, asking about my portfolio and previous campaigns. That's when I realized Marcus genuinely had no clue what I actually did for work. He knew I worked in marketing, but he'd never bothered to learn about my projects, my goals, or my achievements. I was just his girlfriend who works somewhere. The meeting the following week went amazing. My agency ended up landing a 6-figure contract with Marcus's company to handle all their digital marketing and brand positioning. It was the biggest account we'd ever signed. When I told Marcus the news, he seemed more concerned about how it might be weird for me to work with his company than excited about my success. He actually said, isn't it going to be awkward when people know you only got the job because you're dating me? I stared at him. Marcus, I got this job because I'm good at what I do. Your boss didn't even know we were dating until after he decided to hire my agency, but he kept insisting that people would assume I got special treatment, like my work wasn't good enough to stand on its own merit. That's when everything clicked. Marcus didn't see me as a successful professional who happened to be his girlfriend. He saw me as his girlfriend who happened to have some kind of job that wasn't really important. The project with his company lasted 8 months. During that time, I worked directly with C-level executives, presented to the board of directors, and helped increase their customer engagement by 40%. I was getting calls from other major companies asking if I was taking new clients. Marcus's coworkers started recognizing me around town, not as Marcus's girlfriend, but as Emma from Hartwell, the one who turned our marketing around. One day, we were at lunch with some of his friends, and one of them mentioned seeing an article about young entrepreneurs in the local business journal. Hey Emma, wasn't that you featured on the cover last month? Marcus looked genuinely shocked. What article? His friend pulled it up on his phone. There I was on the cover of the business section with a headline about innovative marketing leaders under 30. The article talked about my approach to digital campaigns and how I was changing the advertising landscape in our city. Marcus had been living with me for 6 months at that point, and he'd never seen the magazine sitting on our coffee table. Never noticed me doing interviews over the phone or preparing for photo shoots. Why didn't you tell me about this? He asked later. I did tell you. You said that's nice and changed the subject to something about your video game project. That night, I realized I'd outgrown him. Not because I was more successful, but because he fundamentally couldn't see me as anything beyond his girlfriend. My achievements were just background noise to him. I ended up getting headhunted by a major advertising firm in Chicago. When I told Marcus about the offer, his first response was, but what about us? Not congratulations, not how exciting, not I'm proud of you. Just concern about how my career advancement might inconvenience him. I took the job. Marcus tried to convince me to turn it down or ask if he could work remotely and come with me, but I realized I needed to be somewhere that saw me as Emma first, not as someone's girlfriend who happened to be good at marketing. 3 years later, I'm running my own boutique agency in Chicago. We've worked with Fortune 500 companies and won more awards than I can count. I'm dating someone who brags about my achievements to anyone who'll listen and introduces me by my name and accomplishments, not by my relationship to him.